Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to keep this short as possible. It's pretty late. Now, most of you may know when you're following the Lord and when you accept Christ into your life, the spirit is what's getting cleaned up. It's getting cleansed, guys. But you have to remember, the soul is what still has the dirt in you, which causes you to still sin. That is going to take time. That gets renewed over time. Your soul, consisting of your thoughts, your conscience, your feelings, your will, that stuff is going to get renewed over time. That's why when you read the word says transform, renewal of the word. And not just with reading, with fasting, praying, submitting to the Lord. This is why I always say we're going to consistently be growing. We're going to be turning away from one thing and another and another. You're not going to be that same person who you once was years ago when you're following the Lord and when you are really in submission to the Lord. And you know, as I said, we're going to be consistently growing. I'm still growing in things too. And I have a lot to learn, as we all do. Now, you know, the Lord was just opening up my eyes to some things. And guys, we have to be careful. This is why we have to really and truly evaluate ourselves on a daily basis, because we all need correction in areas. Now, what I mean by that is, I see many of you, a lot of people, you are quick to condemn a person. You are quick to talk about them. You are quick to want to put people on blast. You are quick to say, I don't like this person. I may hate this person. I don't care about this person. I'm not going to pray for this person. For examples, you see people on the news who kill people, who rape people, and then you have this negative opinion of them, and you talk about them and say they need to be thrown under the jail, or I cannot stand that person, or I do not like that person. But you know, when you are submitting to the Lord and you are becoming spiritual, He opens up your eyes to these things. You have to remember, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, the forces, the darkness, the wickedness in this world, guys. And when you are looking at it, you can't, you have to go beyond the person. As I said in one of my past videos, you have to actually look at the actual source of what's causing the person to act that way. It's the spirit that's in the person that's causing them to do that. You've got to remember, we as people, we judge because it's in our nature to judge. But that's why when you judge, you're supposed to judge righteously, because you don't know what a person is going through. You may have people who are just so angry and bitter, and you don't know what's really going on in their life. It could be things that's going on. It could be spirits or demons that's attacking them, that's torturing them mentally in other areas. For example, a lot of you like to just talk about the Illuminati 24/7. And most of you like to expose the stuff that goes on in the Illuminati. And the thing about that is, you have to remember, the Bible in the book of Proverbs, it talks about the wicked get no type of peace, because you have to remember, these people are being tormented, guys. They have to do the wickedness, because if they don't, they get no sleep, they get no type of peace. But the thing about it is, I'm not taking up for wickedness, but what I'm saying is, you have to look at the source, guys, the ultimate source. And some of you get mad at these people, you talk so down upon these people, but you have to look at this righteously as well. Some of those people, I'm not saying all of them, but you don't know if that person is secretly trying to get help. You don't know if the person is talking to the Lord. They really and truly won't help. It's our job as followers of Christ to pray for people, because as I keep saying, you don't know what a person is going through, and not just on a level of Satanism, within the entertainment industry. It could be within daily things, friendships, relationships, while a person is acting the way that they're acting. You don't know what a person is going through, which is why it's important that you pray. This is the problem now. We don't have enough people that is compassionate in a wicked society, and that's what makes it difficult in following God. It's a reason why it says in the word to love your enemies. That is not in the word just to be in there. It's in there for a reason, and we're supposed to be applying it. And you don't have enough of God's people doing that. We have got to do that. That is very important. And you have to remember, as I said, we're going to be growing. This is how you can tell a tree by its fruit. Now, of course, you have the wolves in sheep's clothing, but who are pretty good at disguising, and then the truth eventually comes out. But guys, you have, as God's real people bearing good fruit, it is important that you pray for a person. Because, as the saints, we have the power to help people. The authority that Jesus has given us for dying for us, guys. this is what makes it hard in following God, learning to bear fruit in a wicked society, because you don't have enough people who love or are compassionate or really and truly want to help. Because some of you are just so quick to want to talk about a person, expose a person, whatever you want to call it, bash a person. But while you're bashing that person, are you also praying for that person? Some of you do more bashing, exposing than you do praying. And that's a serious problem. Praying for people, praying for yourself, praying for things to change for the better. Now, of course, the prophecies are going to be fulfilled, but you don't know what God has planned. You don't know who can get saved. You don't know who is trying to get help. And when you have people in places that's doing wicked things, you know, us as saints, it's our job to help and to pray, because you don't know what these people are going through. You know, it's more than meets the eye. You have to remember, spirits are behind a lot of things, and when you're looking at these things spiritually, you got to be careful. Some of you get mad because you see a person say this or a person say that, but sometimes you got to stop and think, like, what is going on? What is causing a person to do this or say that? And you get upset and you want to attack and you give your opinions and you go and talk to this person, you go and talk to that person. No. For one, if whatever the situation may be, if you have a problem with someone, take it to the Lord. Quit gossiping. Just take it to the Lord, guys. And most importantly, pray for that person, because you never know what a person is going through. We have got to be careful, guys, because you know, the Bible also talks about the tongue is very powerful. You can speak life or death into someone. And as followers of the Lord, it's important that we speak life. We tell the truth and not compromise it, but we also speak life and do our part in helping those who really and truly want the help. You don't know who really and truly want the help. You can't see the hearts of people, but God can. And especially if God is leading you to pray for a person or to do something for a person, then it's your job to submit to the Lord and do it, guys. You have to keep this in mind, because I see so many of you who claim you're saved, that you're living for the Lord, and you may be, because your spirit is reborn, but it's the soul that needs to get renewed, and that happens over time. But you have to be submissive and willing to change in order for that to work. Some of you are still stuck in the things that you've been doing year after year, and some of you have not changed in a lot of areas, you know. And we got to be careful. This is why we have to really and truly submit and evaluate ourselves. And before we get to pointing fingers at people, focus on yourself. It starts with you. As the Lord said, as the Lord said in the book of Matthew, you have to remove the plank from your eyes first, guys, before you want to help correct your brother or sister, whatever the case may be, whatever the situation. So, guys, this is a reminder. Keep that in mind. This message is for someone. I don't know who, but I mean, well, of course, it applies to all of us, and including me, because this is something that we have to really continuously apply. But keep that in mind, guys, because this is really and truly important. So